I'm going to be telling you my top 5 under the radar players midway through the season before we hit All-Star weekend. Without further ado, let's get into it. Brook Lopez. During the 2012 season, the Brooklyn Nets would make a franchise-changing move, giving away nearly all their picks in return for Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett. The effects of that trade still affect the Nets today, but that is for another video. KG and Paul Pierce, though old, definitely helped elevate the Brooklyn Nets become an elite-level team in the East. This would put spotlight on their young center, Brook Lopez. The Nets would see a lot of playoff action during their time. However, they would never pass the second round. During this time, Brook Lopez made himself a name in the Eastern Conference, grabbing boards and being an elite low-post scorer. During the 2013-2014 season, he would average 20 points, 8 and 8 boards. However, once Paul Pierce and KG became too old to complete it at an elite level, the Nets suffered and they were eventually traded. The Nets would never see the playoff bracket again, and this would include Brook Lopez. With less spotlight on the Nets, many people did not see Brook Lopez improve the way he did. Though a lot of this was due to him being the first option, he developed a nice shot, improved his rebounding and everything else.
The same spot and the same result. Lopez with his third 3 of the night. Drummond bumping bodies. Lopez.
Then be signed with the Los Angeles Lakers during the 2017-2018 season. However, he would have trouble fitting in with the more athletic and younger Lakers, but would still average a nice 13 points and 4 boards.
That would be good to
However, he is now on the Bucks and his game is truly escalating. The Bucks' playstyle was perfect for Lopez. At this point, he is hitting consistent threes, shooting 38% from 3 and 63% from the field. Though he is not the number one option, he can still beast on the defensive end, averaging 2.1 blocks per game, second in the league behind Rudy Gobert. He's also averaging a solid 8 rebounds while being on the same team as Giannis, flicking Giannis Antetokounmpo, the triple-double god.
Well, he only made 2. That is any consolation, but it really isn't. It's not. He got 1.
Number 4, John Collins. John Collins was the number 1 prospect out of Wake Forest in 2017. This was also the same university that Tim Duncan went to. Though many expected him to be a top 10 pick in that class, he fell to a surprising 19th pick and was selected by the Atlanta Hawks. Now, many NBA franchises regret letting him slide as he is probably the top 5 player from that draft. But it didn't seem like that at first. In his rookie campaign, he put up solid numbers, but not any to impress anybody. In that season, he put up 10 points, 7 rebounds, and 1 assist per showing. The Hawks finished the year in the bottom of the Eastern Conference. The next draft class, the Hawks took a big step in drafting the young Trae Young. Yes, I know. In the 2018 draft. This was not only big to the Atlanta Hawks' future, but also for college development. Trae and Collins became good friends really quickly together and committed to doing really intense training during the offseason. They great showing in the preseason, making it to the conference finals. This continued on into the regular season, and they were able to play really well off each other, and both played in a lot of big minutes for their roster. So far in the season, John has made a massive stride, scoring 19.4 points and 10 rebounds. He has also become much more efficient with a 61% field goal percentage. Collins has been a huge boost for the Hawks and has a lot of potential to help them get back into the playoffs again.
And seeing his practice the other day, he was hands-on, he was energetic, he was positive.
There's Trae Young getting his first.
3. Bryn Forbes. In 2016, Bryn Forbes said he has shown his talent at Michigan State. He is the best sharpshooter in his draft class, and the San Antonio Spurs showed him a lot of interest in getting him and gave him a chance to show up on their pre-draft workout session. In that session, he hit a phenomenal 77 out of 100 3-pointers, and a lot of them were from deep. The only problem was that there was not much more to his arsenal. In the draft, his whole team was shocked as he went undrafted on national TV. However, the Spurs had not fully given up on him yet, and gave him a roster spot on the Summer League squad. Bryn Forbes took full advantage of this opportunity and led this league in scoring that summer. This led to 7 10-day contracts and eventually a full contract as a solid role player on the Spurs. In his rookie year, he was not able to be the offensive force he was expected to be. He was only able to put up 2 points per contest and was not prepared for the tight defense that would be played on him. The opposing teams were prepared for his playstyle, guarding him close on the perimeter and daring him to pass it off or penetrate into the paint. The next season in the league, Forbes was prepared and adopted a new game. He developed a solid ground game to dribble past the defense and was better at getting open for more catch-and-shoot play opportunities. In the 2017 season, he averaged 7 points and enforced himself as a legitimate rotation player. This season, he has taken a huge leap, elevating to 12 points a contest, and has finally found a way to become a dangerous threat using his three-point ability. He is making 2.3 threes per game while shooting a stellar 42% from deep. He has slowly continued to make some shockwaves around the league as a solidified scorer and one of the scariest shooters playing the game on a Spurs team that is searching for a push from someone to take them to the next level. Hield. Buddy Hield was the 6th pick in the 2017 NBA draft and he had high expectations. Before he made it to the big league, he was a very versatile guard. He was able to run very hard shot plays, which involved him shooting off the dribble, pulling up from deep, and etc. And he drained a lot of them. He was hyped up for the draft, but in his first season, he did okay for a rookie. He shot 36% from behind the arc, averaged 8 points, and shot 48% from the field. So overall, a solid performance. Like many underrated players, his team did not make the playoffs, and for the most part, were not expected to. If you were to think about the Pelicans, you were to think about Anthony Davis's phenomenal games or plays, even Jrue Holiday's nice passes and his ability to create a shot. By the mid-season, he would get shipped off to Sacramento, where his play would really begin to skyrocket. With Cousins off the roster, Buddy Hield would get a lot of touches, and he would make use of that, averaging almost double the points of what he did back in New Orleans and shooting an improved 42% from behind the arc. While we may be focusing on young talent such as Jason Tatum's amazing play and Markelle potentially becoming a bust, maybe even Luka's great potential, Buddy Hield has been improving under our noses and is now averaging 20 points this season. Combine that with a 58% from the field and a 45% from 3, and you got a lethal guard that can score the ball and may cause trouble for proven guards such as Kemba Walker or even John Wall. And before we reveal our number 1 spot, we got a word from our sponsor. No, I'm just joking. I'll never get a sponsor. Okay, whatever, but we got some honorable mentions. First off is Jamal Murray. When we look at the Denver Nuggets and their success, we always blame it on Nikola Jokic, but a lot of portion of the blame can be placed on Jamal Murray. He has proven himself as a deadly scorer from deep and can drive in for the basket. Like Steve Nash and Andrew Wiggins, he comes from the far north. However, he isn't on this list because the Nuggets are the 2nd seed in the West and he was in the finals for the skill competition. It's not like it really matters, but like a lot of people know him. He's still balling with 18 points per game in a lower market team. Now let's get ready for our number 1 spot.
For you led this Bulls team to the best record in the NBA. You are the youngest MVP in NBA history. And in a league of very valuable players, you are the most valuable, and it is my pleasure to award to you the Kia NBA 2010-11 MVP trophy.
360, ooga booga booga!
Derrick Rose was born and raised in the windy city of Chicago. He had a lifelong passion of being in the NBA and filling the shoes of his idol, NBA legend Michael Jordan. When he had the chance to play in the University of Memphis, he fully seized the opportunity. Ryder, what are you doing? He fully seized the opportunity as he made an immediate impact, leading them to a stunning 23-0 start. That is a perfect record. Good one, good man. Rose led the team to their first ever NCAA Finals appearance, but suffered a hard loss in OT to Kansas. However, he felt like he made a statement on where he stands, and in 2008 declared to be part of the NBA draft. This also happened to be the perfect year for Rose to be part of that class because the draft lottery was not rigged. And his hometown, the Chicago Bulls, got gifted the number 1 pick. It was the obvious selection for the organization to take Derrick Rose, and he delivered. In Rose's first game pro, he dropped a stellar 36 points against the Celtics and went on to win the Rookie of the Year award. Mind you, this time the Celtics had the big three, Ray Allen, KG, and Paul Pierce. In that season, the point guard prodigies averaged a very respectable 17 points on a remarkably efficient 49 from the field, a stat very rare to see out of a first-year athlete. Rose's game began to develop very fast, and it only took him until his third season to be the youngest MVP to ever play in the NBA. That year saw Rose putting up a phenomenal 25 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1 steal, all on 48% shooting per night. If you want to compare these stats with the numbers of one of the league's most prolific scorers, I know I can't read. In Kobe's third season, he was putting up only 19 points, 3 assists, 5 rebounds, and a steal per showing. The Bulls would advance all the way to the conference final, but would end with a tough loss to the Big Three Miami Heat. Still, everything was looking good for Rose, and he sent massive shockwaves across the league, endorsing himself as the best point guard of all time. Then, on April the 28th of 2012, one of the saddest tragedies in the NBA history occurred when Derrick Rose tore his ACL on a drive during a playoff game in Philadelphia. But this was be the start of a devastating injury bug for Rose, as he could only compete for 49 games over the next 3 seasons. I mean, memes are still good. I mean, some of them are pretty funny. Anyways, Rose continued to constantly get hurt during games, and from that point, he was never able to put up the numbers he was once showing. In the offseason before the 2017-2018 season, the Bulls made the move to send Rose to the Knicks due to his unreliability force during his playing time. In the following free agency, Rose signed with the Cleveland Cavaliers for a veteran minimum, as no other team would reliability. I mean, it's just a vet contract, man. Just throw him a bag. Later at the trade deadline, he would get moved to Minnesota for a very little value in return. At this point, Rose was putting up career-low numbers, only scoring 5 points per game. However, through all of Rose's struggles, he has always been one of the most passionate and dedicated players in the league, and spent working several hours a day getting himself in the same form he once was. He was committed to coming into the new season as a new player who was ready to go back to stuffing the stat sheet with big numbers every night he touched the court. The 2018-29 season was Rose's breakout year by far, but ever since his legacy-ending injury, his name has been forgotten across the league. This year, Rose has come back, scoring 18 points, 5 assists, 3 rebounds on a fair 48% on his attempts. One of the biggest parts to his games this year has been his ability to stretch the floor beyond the arc, shooting the ball at a rate we've never seen him doing before. Rose has jumped to 40% on 3-point attempts compared to his 33% during his overall NBA campaign. By far, we believe that this has definitely been one of the most slept-on players this year and a possible dark horse for the most improved player. That's all for today's top 5 video. Remember to use code RAMEN in the Roblox item shop. I'll catch you all next time. Roll the outro.